It was a muddy afternoon in the city after heavy rain. The roads were dirty, and puddles of water were everywhere. An old man named Papa Alara sat quietly on a wooden bench near the side of the road. His clothes were old, and his slippers were torn, but he looked calm and peaceful. He had just finished sweeping the front of a small shop, and was resting before going home. Suddenly, a big black car, a Range Rover, came speeding down the narrow road. Without slowing down, the car splashed through a big puddle of muddy water. The dirty water flew up and soaked Papa Alara from head to toe. The old man gasped and wiped his face with his hand, but it was too late. His shirt, trousers, and slippers were all dripping with brown, dirty water. People nearby stopped and stared in shock. "Hey, look what you did!" a woman shouted at the car. But the car didn't stop. It rolled forward and stopped just a few steps away. The window rolled down, and a proud, sharp female voice came from inside. "You shouldn't be sitting so close to the road, old man. This is not your village." Then the window rolled back up, and the car sped away. Everyone was quiet for a moment. "Did she really say that?" a man asked, his mouth open. "What a wicked woman," another woman shouted. "Can't she even say sorry?" "This is too much," someone else said. "Papa Alara is always kind and quiet. Why treat him like this?" Papa Alara raised his hand gently and spoke softly. "It's okay. Leave her. Let God judge." Meanwhile, the woman in the Range Rover Zaria drove to a fancy shopping mall. She walked inside the building, her phone buzzing in her hand. She took a selfie and posted it online with the caption, "Only the strong walk over the weak. Boss Queen." In minutes, comments came flooding in. "Slay Queen of Queens. Teach them." Zaria smiled proudly. She didn't care about what she had done to the old man. To her, poor people had no value, no voice, and no reason to get in her way. She had built her life with pride, always stepping on anyone she thought was beneath her. That evening, Papa Alara finally arrived home, tired but calm. He opened the door and walked into the large living room of their beautiful mansion. Even though he dressed simply and spent time in poor neighborhoods, his son Kalen was a very rich man. Their house was full of fine furniture, soft rugs, and expensive artwork on the walls. But Papa Alara didn't care about riches. Kalen was sitting on the couch, reading on his tablet. When he saw his father, he looked worried. "Papa, what happened to your shirt? Did you have another bad day?" Papa Alara sat down gently and shook his head. "Kalen, I met the most rude woman today." Kalen sighed. "Papa, I don't know why you keep going out there. Why can't you stop this? You don't need to sit by the roadside or talk to strangers. You live in a mansion now. You have everything you need." Papa Alara looked at his son with calm eyes. "I will never stop, Kalen. Not until I find a good woman for you." Kalen put down his tablet in surprise. "Papa, not this again." "Yes," Papa Alara said firmly. "You are already 36 years old. You need a wife. A woman who will build with you, not just enjoy your money." Kalen rubbed his forehead and sighed. "Papa, I already have a girlfriend." The old man turned quickly. "You do?" "Yes, I've been seeing someone," Kalen said. "Then why didn't you tell me before now?" "I didn't want to rush things," Kalen replied. "But now that you're talking about it again, I'll tell you." Papa Alara leaned forward. "So who is she? Where is she from? What does she do?" Kalen smiled lightly. "You'll meet her soon. Don't worry. She's very beautiful." The old man raised an eyebrow. "Beauty is not everything, my son." "I know, Papa," Kalen said softly. "But there's a problem." "What problem?" Papa Alara asked. Kalen hesitated before speaking. "She's rude, Papa. Very rude." Papa Alara leaned back slowly. "She talks down to people," Kalen continued. "She's proud. She thinks everyone is below her. And she spends money without thinking. I give her money and she buys things she doesn't need, expensive clothes, shoes, bags, all just to show off." Papa Alara shook his head in silence. "So why are you still with her?" he asked. Kalen looked away. "I don't know. Maybe because she's beautiful. Maybe because I thought I could change her. She's smart too. And sometimes when she's calm, she's sweet. But when she feels angry or insulted, she becomes someone else." His father was quiet for a while, then asked softly, Does she respect you? Sometimes. Does she respect herself? Kaylin didn't answer. Papa Alara sighed deeply. Kaylin, listen. I've been watching women all my life. I can tell their hearts by the way they talk and walk. You need a woman who will bring peace to your home, not noise. A woman who will help you grow, not waste all you've worked for. I know, Papa, Kaylin said quietly. You're right. Then bring her home, Papa Alara said. Let me see her with my own eyes. I want to talk to her. I want to look into her eyes. If I see humility, I'll bless your union. If I see pride, I'll tell you the truth, even if it hurts. Kaylin nodded slowly. Okay, Papa. I'll talk to her. Maybe she can come over this weekend. Good, the old man said. But don't tell her anything special. Let her come as she is. I want to meet her real self, not the fake one she shows in public. Kaylin chuckled. You want to surprise her? No. Papa Alara said calmly. I want her to surprise herself. Kaylin stood up to get a glass of water. His father watched him with quiet concern. He was proud of his son. Kaylin was smart, successful, and kind. But love could make even the wisest man blind. The next day, it was another hot afternoon. Papa Alara sat quietly outside a big supermarket, wearing his simple clothes, with a small plastic bowl in front of him. Some people dropped coins in the bowl. Others walked by without even looking at him. He didn't beg. He just sat quietly. Then a black Range Rover stopped sharply in front of him. Zaria stepped out, wearing dark glasses, with loud music playing in her car. She looked at Papa Alara and hissed. You again? She snapped. You old, dirty, smelly man. Why do you keep embarrassing yourself like this? She didn't wait for him to reply. Do you enjoy sitting here like a goat? Poor people like you have no shame. Look at your clothes. Look at your face. You're useless. Maybe you were cursed. Papa Alara stayed silent. You're the reason this country is backward. You sit here waiting for help instead of dying quietly. She spat near his feet. You make me sick. Just then, a young woman carrying 2 grocery bags walked out of the supermarket. She stopped when she saw Zaria shouting and dropped her bags. Enough, the young woman said. Zaria turned sharply. Who are you? Someone who still has sense, the young woman replied. Zaria laughed. Another poor rat trying to act important. You're insulting an old man for no reason, the young woman said firmly. What did he do to you? He exists. Zaria barked. That's what he did. Dirty old men like him shouldn't be outside. The young woman stepped forward. He's old enough to be your father. So, Zaria shouted. Is he my father? Maybe he's yours. You both look poor. The young woman's eyes narrowed. Yes, maybe he is. But at least he's not empty like you. Zaria laughed bitterly. Do you know who I am? Do you know who my boyfriend is? I can get you arrested in 2 minutes. Arrest me for telling you to respect an old man? The young woman said calmly. I'm rich. I can do anything. Zaria yelled. No, you're loud. The young woman said sharply. Not rich in character. You're jealous of me. I'm clean. I'm classy. Zaria shouted. The young woman scoffed. You're just noisy with lipstick, nothing more. Zaria's face turned red with anger. She stepped closer. You dare talk to me like that? Yes, the young woman said calmly. Because nobody ever taught you manners. You'll regret this, Zaria hissed. No, you will, the young woman replied softly. One day, this same man you insulted will be the one you'll have to bow to. Zaria's hands shook with rage. Take your proud legs and leave, the young woman said, pointing at Zaria's car. Zaria glared, lips tight and face red. She turned, stormed into her car, slammed the door and sped away. The young woman turned to Papa Alara. I'm so sorry, sir. Papa Alara looked at her gently. Thank you, my daughter. She smiled. I couldn't let her talk to you like that. He nodded. These days, not many people speak up like you did. The young woman looked around, then sat next to him. Papa, what's your name? Alara, he said simply. People just call me Papa Alara. She smiled. I'm Alina. Nice name, he said warmly. She looked into his eyes. Papa, where do you stay? He hesitated, then spoke quietly. I sleep in an empty store at the edge of town. The owner lets me stay there. It's not much, but it keeps me dry when it rains. Alina's face fell. Oh, Papa, I'm so sorry. He shook his head gently. Don't be. Life has its seasons. I may be poor, but I still have peace. You seem too wise to be living like this, Alina said softly. Papa Ilera smiled weakly. Life teaches you wisdom when you have nothing. Alina looked at him for a long moment, then said, Papa, I studied agriculture in school. I'm a graduate, but I've had no job for a whole year. My parents are poor farmers in the village. Papa Ilera nodded. You're trying, my daughter. I was thinking, Alina continued, instead of just sitting here, maybe I can help you start a small farm. Even behind the store, we can grow simple things. He looked surprised. You want to help me farm? Yes, Papa, she said. I don't have much, but I have strength. We can grow vegetables, tomatoes, pepper. You'll have food to eat, and we can sell the rest. It's better than begging. Papa Ilera sat quietly, thinking deeply. You're too kind, he said softly. Alina shook her head. No, Papa. I just think good people deserve help too. You hardly know me, Papa Ilera said. Alina smiled. I know enough. You stayed silent when that woman insulted you. That told me everything I need to know. Papa Ilera smiled slowly. You're different. I try, she said with a small laugh. I'll think about it, Alina. Think fast, she said playfully. We can start with a small basket of okra. Even that can change something. They both laughed softly. Alina stood, picked up her grocery bags and waved. Okay, Papa. See you tomorrow. He nodded. I'll be here. Good, she said. Don't go missing. Papa Ilera watched the young woman walk away, smiling. Something warm moved in his heart. It wasn't sadness or shame. It was hope. He looked up at the sky and whispered softly, Lord, could she be the one? Papa Ilera walked into his big house with a big smile. The heavy wooden door closed behind him. He took off his sandals quietly. The mansion was peaceful and cool. As he looked around, he saw his son sitting quietly in the living room. Papa Ilera cleared his throat. Kaylin. Yes, Papa. I met someone today, Papa Ilera said. Kaylin looked up, surprised. Who? Papa Ilera walked over and sat down beside him. Kaylin, today I met the most beautiful, respectful, and well-mannered woman I've ever seen, he said. Kaylin raised his eyebrows. Really? Yes, Papa Ilera said. And I'm not talking about fancy makeup, hair, or shiny shoes. I'm talking about a kind heart, a clean heart. A woman with wisdom, courage, and respect. Kaylin leaned back in his chair. Okay. So what happened? Papa Ilera smiled. I was outside the supermarket. That same proud woman came again. The one who always insults me like I'm nothing. She opened her mouth today and poured all kinds of hurtful words on me. Kaylin clenched his fist lightly. Again? Yes, Papa Ilera said calmly. But this time something different happened. A young woman saw what was happening. Before I could say a word, she stood up for me. She did. Kaylin asked. Yes, Kaylin, Papa Ilera said. She spoke up for me without fear. She didn't shout or act crazy. Her words were clean but strong. She spoke with wisdom. That rude girl had no choice but to walk away embarrassed. Kaylin stayed silent, listening closely. After that, Papa Ilera continued, the young woman came to sit with me. She didn't rush. She didn't act proud. She just sat down and asked if I was okay, like I mattered. What's her name? Kaylin asked. Alina, Papa Ilera said softly. Alina. Kaylin repeated. Yes, Papa Ilera said with a smile. I told her I was just a poor old man with no home. She didn't laugh. She didn't judge me. Do you know what she said? Kaylin waited quietly. She said, Papa, I can help you. Kaylin looked surprised. Papa Ilera nodded. She's a graduate. She studied agriculture, but she doesn't have a job yet. Her parents are farmers too. But instead of complaining, she said we could start a small farm together. She offered to help me find peace through hard work again. Kaylin blinked. Papa, you're not serious. I am very serious, Papa Alara said firmly. You know I've always wanted to go back to farming. You told me to stop because I was old. But Kaylin, that's where I find joy. Farming makes me feel alive. Kaylin sighed. Papa, we've talked about this. You don't need to farm anymore. You should rest and enjoy your old age. Papa Alara shook his head. Rest without purpose is just waiting to die, he said. Farming is not just about growing food for me. It's about peace, patience, and strength. My body may be old, but my spirit is strong. Kaylin looked down, saying nothing. This girl Alina reminded me of the man I used to be. Papa Alara said softly. She brought light into my heart today. More than that, she gave me hope again. Kaylin rubbed his chin slowly, thinking deeply. I'm telling you this, Kaylin, Papa Alara added. Not because I need your permission, but because I've seen something rare. That girl is gold. She may not have money, but she has character. And that is something money can't buy. Kaylin looked up. Papa, I didn't want to say this, but my girlfriend is coming tomorrow. Papa Alara leaned back. And what do you want me to do with that information? Kaylin paused. She wants to meet you. That's none of my business, Papa Alara said sharply. Because today I met a woman who reminded me that respect and kindness still exist. Your girlfriend may come tomorrow, but I already met a woman this world truly needs. Kaylin went silent. I've been watching you, Papa Alara continued. You're rich, but you're alone. You have houses, but no joy. You have friends, but no peace. A wife should bring peace, Kaylin. Not noise, not pride, not trouble. I understand, Papa, Kaylin said quietly. No, you don't, Papa Alara replied calmly. You say you have a girlfriend, but I don't know her. I don't know where she's from, what she believes in, or how she treats people. You tell me she's beautiful. That's fine. But can beauty feed your heart? Kaylin looked away. When I was young, Papa Alara said, I wanted to marry the most beautiful girl in my village. My mother warned me, but I didn't listen. That girl had the face of an angel, but the tongue of a lion. She almost destroyed me. What happened? Kaylin asked softly. She left me, Papa Alara said. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's when I met your mother. She wasn't the most beautiful, but she had a clean heart. She worked hard, and her love built this family. Kaylin swallowed hard. So you're saying Alina is? I'm not saying that yet, Papa Alara replied. I'm saying don't bring noise into this house tomorrow, and expect me to smile. Because today I saw peace. Okay, Papa, Kaylin said. Let my girlfriend come. Let her show you who she is. But I will not pretend. If I see pride, I'll tell her to her face. I respect that, Kaylin said quietly. Papa Alara smiled. Good. I've said what I needed to say. Tomorrow we'll see. The next morning came quietly. Papa Alara had already bathed, and was sitting calmly in the living room. He wore simple, clean clothes. His face looked calm, but his heart was full of thoughts about Alina. He could still hear her voice. Papa, I can help you. He smiled at the memory. Then he heard footsteps. Kaylin walked in and stood beside him. Papa, Kaylin said softly. She's on her way. Papa Alara looked straight ahead. Let her come. Minutes later, the sound of a car filled the air. Papa Alara stayed still. The door opened slowly. High heels tapped on the floor. A young woman, Zaria, walked in with pride in her eyes, her handbag swinging. She looked around the house. This place is nice, she said. Not as modern as mine, but okay. Then she saw the old man sitting on the couch. Her smile vanished. She froze. Papa Alara looked up at her, but said nothing. Papa, this is, Kaylin began. I know who she is, Papa Alara said coldly. Zaria swallowed hard. You? Yes, he said calmly. We've met twice before. Kaylin turned to her. You know my father? I didn't know he was your father, Zaria stammered. You didn't need to know, Papa Alara said firmly. You only needed to show respect. Kaylin's face grew serious. What's he talking about? This is the same woman, Papa Alara said, who splashed mud on me by the road and insulted me. She called me useless. She mocked my poverty. Yesterday at the supermarket, she did it again. Kaylin stared at Zaria. She couldn't speak. Is this true? He asked. I didn't know he was your father, she said quickly. You didn't need to know, Kaylin said sharply. You insulted an old man twice. I thought he was a beggar, Zaria shouted. He is a human being, Kaylin snapped. Even if he was a beggar, is that how you treat people? I didn't mean it like that, Zaria whispered. Papa Ilera stood slowly. You didn't mean it, but you said it. You shamed me because I looked poor. You acted like you owned the world. But now the same old man is the father of the man you love. Zaria's lips trembled. Tell me, Papa Ilera asked calmly. If you had known who I was, would you have behaved better? Yes, she said softly. Then you are not truly kind, he said. Real kindness doesn't depend on who is watching. Zaria's eyes filled with tears. Please, sir, I'm sorry. You are not sorry for what you did, Papa Ilera said. You're sorry because of who I am. Kaylin's face was full of disappointment. You told me you were bold, he said to Zaria. You said you loved me. I do, she whispered. No, you love yourself, he said coldly. Because the woman who loves me will respect my father. Zaria dropped her bag. Please, Kaylin. He looked at her one last time, then turned away. Papa, he said. I've made a mistake. Zaria walked slowly to Papa Ilera. Please forgive me. Forgiveness is easy, he said. But trust is not. You had a chance to show your true self, and you did. I can change, she whispered. Good, he said. Start by changing how you treat people who can do nothing for you. She picked up her bag and left quietly. The room fell silent. Papa Ilera sat back down. Kaylin sat beside him. Papa, Kaylin said. Yes. Alina. Yes. Where is she now? Papa Ilera smiled gently. She's coming to meet me at the supermarket tomorrow. The next morning, Kaylin left the house quietly. He needed fresh air. His mind was heavy with what happened with Zaria. He couldn't believe the woman he once loved had insulted his father. Not once, but twice. He drove alone, without his driver or assistant. He didn't know where he was going. He just wanted to breathe. After a while, he parked his car near a small piece of land behind some shops. He stepped out, walked a little, and sat on a bench under a mango tree. The sun was just rising. A soft breeze blew. For the first time in days, he felt calm. As he sat, he noticed someone ahead. A young woman was standing near a small patch of land. She had a bag of seeds in one hand and a small hoe in the other. Her hair was tied back. She wore simple clothes, no makeup or fancy shoes. She knelt down, touched the soil, and studied it. Kaylin watched her quietly. After a while, she looked up and noticed him. She smiled warmly. Good morning, she said. Good morning, Kaylin replied. She walked closer. Are you from around here? No, just passing by, he said. Needed a break, she asked. He nodded. Yeah. She chuckled. Me too, well, not really a break. I'm planning to start a small farm here. Kaylin looked at the land. You? A farm? She laughed. Yes, why not? Most young women I know wouldn't even hold a hoe, let alone start a farm. Kaylin smiled. That's true. I'm not like most women, she said with a grin. I studied agriculture. I don't have a job yet, but I have hands and a strong back. Kaylin was impressed. That's rare. She dropped her bag and held out her hand. I'm Alina. He shook her hand. Kaylin. They both smiled. She sat on a rock beside him. I'm trying to help an old man, she said softly. He doesn't have a home. He's kind and wise. He reminds me of my father. Kaylin turned to her. Really? Yes. I met him yesterday, she said. He was being insulted by a woman. I couldn't stay quiet. I stood up for him. Kaylin's heart skipped a beat. Alina continued. After that, I found out he wasn't begging for money. He just sits quietly, watching the world. I told him I'd help him start a small farm so he can have food and feel useful again. Kaylin looked at her deeply. She didn't brag. She didn't shout. She spoke calmly with kindness in her voice. I wish more people thought like you, he said. She laughed. We're out here, just not noticed. You live nearby, he asked. No, she said. I take the bus from the other side of town. It's not easy, but I can't stay home doing nothing. Kaylin nodded. I admire that. She smiled. What do you do? Kaylin stopped for a moment. Business, he said. Ah, business. The favorite Nigerian word. They both laughed. I won't ask too many questions, Alina said with a smile. You look like someone with a lot on his mind. Kaylin smiled. You're right. She stood up and picked up a small basket of seeds. I need to plant these seeds before the sun gets too hot. Kaylin stood up too. Can I help? Alina raised her eyebrows and looked at him playfully. You? With your clean shoes and soft hands. I can learn, Kaylin said seriously. She smiled. All right then. Let's start with okra. And just like that, they began. Two strangers from two very different worlds stood side by side, planting seeds on a small farm. Later that day, as the sun was going down, Papa Alera sat quietly in his usual spot near the supermarket. His eyes looked soft, and his mind was far away. He wasn't thinking about food or money. He was thinking about Alina, her kindness, her courage, her gentle words. Suddenly, a cheerful voice brought him back. Papa! He looked up. It was Alina, walking toward him with a small basket in her hand. She sat down beside him with a warm smile. I brought you something, she said. What is it? Papa Alera asked kindly. Just some fresh vegetables and boiled groundnuts. It's not much, Alina said shyly. Papa Alera opened the basket and smiled. It's everything. Thank you, my daughter. May God bless your hands. Alina laughed softly. Amen, Papa. They sat quietly for a while. Then Alina leaned closer. Papa, I have good news, she said. His eyes lit up. Tell me. I found some land. You did? He asked, surprised. Yes. It belongs to my uncle. I told him about my dream to start farming, and he said I could use part of his land. It's not big, but it's enough for okra and vegetables. Ah, this is good, Papa Alera said. So when are we going to see it? Alina smiled wide. Tomorrow morning if you are ready. Papa Alera paused and then shook his head gently. No, we cannot go to the farm tomorrow. Alina looked confused. Why not, Papa? Because, he said softly, you are coming to my house tomorrow. She blinked in surprise. Your house? But you said you sleep in a shop. He smiled calmly. Just come. I will explain everything to you. Alina raised an eyebrow. Papa, are you hiding something? I'm hiding peace, he joked. She laughed. Okay, so when are we going to the farm? Let's go by the weekend, he said. All right, she nodded. But Papa, you're full of surprises. He took a small paper from his pocket and handed it to her. That's my address. Don't be late. Alina looked at the paper, shook her head, and smiled. Now I'm really curious. Then she hesitated and said shyly, Papa, I also met someone today. Papa Alera leaned forward. Who? She looked down and blushed. Just someone. A man. He's very handsome. And kind. And humble. I like him. The old man's eyes grew wide. Who could that be? I want to meet him, my daughter. Alina laughed. No, Papa. It's not like that. We're just friends for now. Papa Alera smiled warmly. I'm your second father now. I must see him with my own eyes. Papa, calm down, she said, shaking her head playfully. So, are we going to see each other tomorrow? He asked. Yes, Papa. See you tomorrow. See you, my daughter, he said with a smile. As she walked away, Papa Alera whispered softly to himself. Let tomorrow begin the truth. That night, Papa Alera returned to his house. The big mansion was quiet. He walked into the living room and saw Kaylin sitting there. Papa, Kaylin said. Can I tell you something? Yes, my son. Papa Alera replied. I met someone today. Papa Alera sat down, smiling inside. You did? Yes. She's not like other women. She's beautiful but simple. Intelligent but calm. She works hard. She was farming under the sun. Papa Alera leaned forward. What's her name? Alina, Kaylin said. The old man closed his eyes and smiled. She's the first woman who has ever made me want to sit and listen without rushing, Kaylin added. I would like to meet her. Papa Alara said slowly. You will, Kaylin replied. Very soon. Papa Alara leaned back, smiling again. In his heart he whispered, tomorrow, you'll meet her in the most unexpected way. The next morning, Alina stood nervously in front of a large black gate. She clutched her small handbag and looked at the paper with Papa Alara's address again. This place is too fancy, she whispered. Is this really where Papa Alara lives? A security guard stepped out of a small side gate. Yes? Can I help you? Alina nodded. I'm here to see Papa Alara. He gave me this address yesterday. The guard looked her over. Wait here, he said, then walked back inside. Alina's heart beat faster. Something didn't feel right. She expected a small house, maybe even a shop. But this was a mansion. It had tall white walls, bright flowers, and a shiny driveway. Even the air smelled different. The gate opened. Come in, the guard said. Alina walked inside slowly, her sandals tapping on the smooth floor. She stopped near the wide entrance, staring around in shock. The house looked like something from a magazine. Clean walls, glass windows, flower pots, and calm silence surrounded her. Then she heard footsteps. Alina. She turned and froze. It was Kaylin, the same man she had met on the farm, the man who had helped her with seeds, the one she couldn't stop thinking about. Kaylin, she whispered. Alina, he said softly, stepping closer, eyes wide. She looked around in disbelief. You live here? Before Kaylin could answer, another voice came from behind him. My daughter. Alina looked up and gasped. It was Papa Alara, smiling from ear to ear. Papa, she cried. She stepped back. Wait, you live here? Papa Alara chuckled. Yes, this is my house. But you told me you sleep in a shop, she said in shock. I wanted to see how people treated me when they thought I had nothing, he said calmly. Alina's eyes moved from Papa Alara to Kaylin, then back. Wait, she turned to Kaylin, pointing. You're his son. Kaylin smiled slowly. Yes, I am. Alina covered her mouth in surprise. I don't understand. None of this makes sense. Papa Alara walked closer. My daughter, I'm sorry for hiding the truth, but you showed me your real heart. You helped me when you thought I was a poor, homeless man. That is rare in this world. Tears filled Alina's eyes. You were testing me. No, he said softly. I was watching. Life has taught me to observe. Many people kneel for the rich but spit on the poor. You did the opposite. You gave me food. You offered to farm with me. You made me feel seen. Alina looked at Kaylin. And you? Kaylin stepped closer. I didn't know either. I met you by chance. I never imagined you'd be the same woman my father kept talking about. Alina blinked back tears. This is too much. Papa Alara smiled. But it's good. Now no one can say you were chasing money. You didn't know anything. You just followed your heart. Alina looked down. I didn't do anything special. You did, Kaylin said gently. You were kind to a man you thought had nothing. That's powerful. Silence filled the space. Alina, come inside. Papa Alara said. You're home now. She looked up at him, still shocked. Are you sure? Kaylin reached out his hand. Yes, please. Alina took his hand, and together they walked inside the mansion. Not as strangers, but as something more, something real. Later, the house was quiet. Papa Alara had gone to rest, leaving Kaylin and Alina alone in the big living room. Kaylin sat next to Alina. His heart was racing. Alina, he said gently, I don't want to waste time. She turned to look at him. I know we just met, he continued, but I feel something strong. Something I've never felt before. Alina's eyes stayed on him as he spoke. I love you, Kaylin said clearly. From the very first moment I saw you. Alina blinked, stunned. I didn't just admire you. I loved your strength, your calmness, your confidence. And the fact that my father loves you too, that's a big plus for me. Alina's eyes softened. I want to marry you as soon as possible, Kaylin said. Alina's lips parted in surprise. I'm not going to lie, she whispered. I love you too. Kaylin's face lit up. From the first time we met near the farm, I felt peace, Alina said softly. I didn't even know who you were, but I felt safe with you." She smiled shyly. "If you truly want to marry me," she said gently, "then I will say yes." Kaylin reached for her hand and held it tightly. "Thank you. You are the most beautiful and intelligent woman I've ever met. And now you'll be my wife." Alina blushed, but then her face turned serious. "There's something I must do first." "What is it?" Kaylin asked. "I have to go to the village. I must tell my parents. They live there. They must know." Kaylin paused, her words echoing in his mind. "Your parents live in the village?" She nodded. "No," Kaylin said firmly. "That cannot continue." Alina looked confused. "What do you mean?" "My parents-in-law cannot live in the village while I live in a mansion," Kaylin said. "I will give them one of my houses in the city. They will stop farming. They've suffered enough. I want them to enjoy peace now." Alina's mouth opened in shock. You would do that for them?" "Alina," Kaylin said, "I'm not just marrying you. I'm marrying your family. I must honor them like I honor my own father." Tears filled Alina's eyes. "No one has ever said something like that to me." He gently wiped her tears. "You're worth it. From today, your struggle is my struggle. Your joy is my joy." News spread quickly in the city. Kaylin, the quiet billionaire, was getting married. But not to a rich girl or a celebrity. He was marrying a simple, respectful woman named Alina. People were shocked. Some were happy for him. Others were jealous. But no one was more angry than Zaria. She was at a spa when she heard the news from a friend. "What did you just say?" Zaria snapped. "Yes," her friend said. "Kaylin is getting married to that girl. I even heard she's from the village." Zaria's face twisted with anger. Her hands shook. "He can't do this to me," she muttered. She stormed out of the spa, got into her car, and slammed the door. That night, she made a call. "Hello," she said coldly. "Zaria." A rough-sounding man answered. His name was Jiro, a man known for doing dirty work. "I want you to do something for me," Zaria said. "What is it?" Jiro asked. "I want you to plant drugs in Kaylin's office. Once they're there, we'll call the police. He'll be arrested and disgraced. The wedding will be ruined." Jiro was silent. "And also," Zaria continued, "if you can make sure that girl Alina never wakes up again. And that ugly old man she calls father-in-law, I want him gone forever. I never want to see his useless face again." Jiro stayed quiet. Zaria hung up, thinking her evil plan was already in motion. But she didn't know something important. Jiro knew Kaylin. Kaylin was the man who had helped Jiro's sister years ago. Kaylin gave her a job when no one else would. When Jiro's mother was dying, Kaylin paid all her hospital bills. He even helped Jiro's family pay their rent when they were thrown out. Jiro sat alone that night thinking, "This is the man you want me to destroy? The man who saved my family? Never." He picked up his phone and called Zaria again. "Hello," she answered. "Tell me the plan again," Jiro said. "I need all the details." Zaria laughed and told him everything again. She didn't hold back. She explained how the drugs should be planted, how Kaylin should be arrested, and how she wanted Alina and Papa Ilera gone forever. Jiro recorded the entire conversation. The next morning, he walked straight into Kaylin's office. Kaylin was busy with wedding plans and work. "Sir, I need just 10 minutes, Jiro said. Kaylin looked up. "Do I know you?" "You helped my family years ago," Jiro said firmly. "I've come to return the favor." Kaylin looked very confused, but he nodded his head. "Go on," he said. Jiro took a deep breath and told Kaylin everything. Then he played a voice recording on his phone so Kaylin could hear. As Kaylin listened, his face changed. His heart started beating very fast. His mouth stayed open in shock. In the recording, he could clearly hear Zaria's voice. She was planning to ruin his life, and even wishing that Alina and his father would die. When the recording ended, Kaylin leaned back in his chair and covered his face with his hands. She really wanted to destroy us," he whispered. Jiro nodded. "I couldn't let it happen. You don't deserve this." Kaylin reached out and shook Jiro's hand. "Thank you. You've saved us." A few hours later, the police made their move. They went to a fancy restaurant where Zaria was eating and showing off her new clothes. Suddenly, Police officers surrounded her. What is the meaning of this? Zaria shouted angrily. You're under arrest for attempted murder, conspiracy, and drug framing, one officer said firmly. Zaria started screaming and crying, but the police didn't listen. They handcuffed her and took her away. Days later, the courtroom was full of people. Zaria was brought in, wearing a long black dress. She tried to look innocent. I don't know what they're talking about, she said sweetly. I never said any of that. The judge stared at her silently, then nodded to an officer. The officer pressed play. Zaria's voice filled the courtroom. Everyone listened as she clearly spoke about all her evil plans. In the recording, she laughed and insulted Papa Alera, calling him ugly and poor. She called Alina bad names and even said, I want her gone forever. When the recording stopped, the whole courtroom became silent. All eyes turned to Zaria. She opened her mouth in shock and started crying. I didn't mean it. I was angry. I was drunk. It was the devil, she screamed. The judge raised his hand. Enough. The devil did not make you speak. You planned this evil yourself. You would have succeeded if not for one honest man. Zaria sobbed loudly. Please. I'm sorry, she begged. But the judge looked at her with no pity. For your jealousy, your pride, and your wickedness, you will face the law. Zaria was sentenced to 15 years in prison with no chance to get out early. Back at the mansion, Kaylin told Alina everything. Alina was shocked but grateful. That could have been the end of us, she whispered. Kaylin hugged her tightly. But it's not, he said softly. Because good people still exist, people like Jiro, and people like you. That weekend, Kaylin and Alina traveled to her village. When they arrived, Kaylin went down on one knee in front of Alina's parents. I want to marry your daughter, he said kindly. And from today, I want you both to leave this village and come live in the city. I have a house ready for you. You've worked too hard for too long. It's time for you to rest. Alina's mother began to cry tears of happiness. Her father smiled and blessed Kaylin. A month later, Kaylin and Alina were married in a beautiful wedding full of joy and love. After the ceremony, they flew away quietly for their honeymoon. They walked hand in hand on a sunny beach, laughing as they played barefoot in the sand. I still can't believe this is real, Alina said softly. Kaylin smiled and kissed her forehead. It's real, he whispered. And it's forever. Dear readers, what lessons did you learn from this dramatic story? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the story, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Turn on the notification bell, so you never miss another exciting story. Thanks for reading, and stay blessed.